The things that you'll pick up on very quickly in a Tang Sudo school is that there is a lot of use of Korean terminology. Most of these we use English for, okay, with some exceptions. When I start my instructional videos, I'm going to go over like the attention stance, the ready stance, things like that. So attention would be chariot, okay. This is going about the, so this is the thing. What you have to understand is, and this will go when it goes over kicks, but you'll see, okay, front is up, and kick is chagi. Where is it? There it is, chagi. Okay, so there. So, for example, a front kick would be ab chagi. Dwi, meaning back or turn around, would be dwi chagi. Okay? So, we don't, a lot of these, we don't really, we use English primarily at my school, or the school that I learned at. But the kicks, a lot of times what you'll hear is you'll hear the kick either in a, especially in a beginner's class, you'll hear the kick stated in English and then Korean. English and then Korean. Some of the more advanced classes, not at my school, but at other schools, and some of the tournaments I've been at, if there's a demonstration or if you're participating in a demonstration or something of that nature, you need to know the Korean commands so that you can actually do what you're being told to do. Unfortunately, Korea is broken into dialects. Like the language, the Korean language has different dialects. For example, North Korean is different than South Korean, just for a very easy example. So if you have an instructor that was from North Korea, they're going to sound a hell of a lot different in how they say things than how somebody from South Korea is, and also different tiny little differences between different areas. But like, for example, I've never heard the axe kick called the Nerorio Chagi. We call it Chiki Chagi. Back kick Dwi Chagi. Crescent kick Bandel Chagi. Front kick Ab Chagi. Hook kick Horio Chagi. Push kick Mirio Chagi. Roundhouse kick Dorio Chagi. Scissor kick Kawi Chagi. Side kick Yab Chagi. So that would actually be pronounced how we pronounce it. See, that says Yapchaki. We pronounce it Yapchaki. So at my school, it's pronounced Yapchaki. And the other thing that you got to take into consideration, you're going to have differences in how different American instructors choose to pronounce these Korean words. So as I said, this is Yapchaki. Yapchaki is how we say it in my school. Yapchaki is how it looks like it would be pronounced in Korean. Okay, spinning hook kick, Dwi Horio Chagi. Okay, tornado kick, Dolge Chagi. Now, this is what you have to understand about the tornado kick. The tornado kick is not actually a kick, as far as I'm aware of. It could be either of these kicks. Okay, it could be a 360-degree jump spinning roundhouse kick, or it could be a 360-degree jump spinning crescent kick. I've seen both described, or outside to inside crescent kick. Let me make sure of that. Or I guess you could do a jump spinning back inside to outside crescent kick, but I've never seen that referred to as a tornado kick. But I have seen both the 360 jumping roundhouse and the 360 jumping crescent kick, both referred to as a tornado kick. Okay, these we generally use English for the parts of the body at my school. Of course, we do count in Korean. We usually only count till 10, so Hana, Tol, Sep, Nip. See, this is another one. Hana, Dol, Dol. We say Tol. Both are correct. Set, Net, Tasat, we say instead of Dasat. Yasat, Ilgap, Yodo, Aho, Yo. Okay? So that's something to keep in mind, is different schools are going to have, now this is Taekwondo, so this could be completely different than Tang Sudo, just because of the different dialects of the different teachers and the different, you know what I mean? So you have to keep that in mind when exploring Tang Soo Do, okay, or Taekwondo for that matter, or any other martial art. But we're going to go over the Japanese terminology. Why Japanese terminology? A lot of Tang Soo Do schools have instructors with mixed martial arts lineages. A lot of Kenpo, a lot of Shotokan, a lot of Tang Soo Do, a lot of Taekwondo, a lot of mixed lineages. So there's a lot of mixed use of particularly Japanese, Korean, and English terminologies for different techniques. Rarely, although not impossible, rarely you may hear the use of Chinese terminology. Very rarely, but sometimes you might hear the use of Chinese terminology. Not enough that I'm going to cover it, though. So you'll notice many of the same commands in English. Attention is Kyotsuki. Okay. Body movement, of course, is Tai Sabaki. Bow is Rei. Breathing exercises, Hukyoyo or Hukyoho. Cat, which is the cat stance, is what we would call the fighting stance in Tang Soo Do. Hand is, of course, Te. Okay. Now, what I'm going to get down on here, so what you really got to be looking for are things like this. So we have something called a ridge hand in Tang Soo Do, and in Japanese karate we have a ridge hand. Now remember, in Korean, a uniform is called a dobak, which means, basically it means training shirt or training clothing. Okay. In Japanese, it's called a gi. You are going to see that used interchangeably by a lot of instructors. A lot of instructors prefer the word gi to dobak. At my school, generally speaking, we use the term uniform, okay? Just because it's easier for people to understand. You may, although not readily at my school, but you may hear of hyungs or pumps. We call them hyungs in Tang Soo Do, pumps in Taekwondo, and kata in Japanese is a set pattern of movements called forms in English. Ki, or chi, is internal energy, okay? You're going to see that. Okay, so you've heard of Hapkido, okay, right? And you've heard of Aikido. So a ki hop is a yell in Korean. Hey! Okay? Okay. Same thing, kia is a hey! Yell in Japanese. So, ki hop in Korean, ki a in Japanese. Okay, these are the basic commands. You generally will not see these in a Korean class. Where you're going to see, as I pointed out, you're going to see the use of, what do you call it? You're going to see it used primarily with the word gi. The other thing is, in Korean, hand is su. Remember, Tang Soo Do, way of the Chinese hand. So we use the term suto for knife hand. For, what do you call it? For the ridge hand, we'll call it a reverse suto. Some instructors, including my instructor, refer to it as a shuto. Okay? Shuto is Japanese for knife hand. I'm looking for it right here. I'm not finding it. But a reverse shuto is a ridge hand. A lot of times you'll hear it referred to as a ridge hand, though. So that's what you have to keep in mind, is a lot of instructors are going to mix up different terminologies. Japanese, Korean, English, in some very rare cases, Chinese terminologies. I've never heard any at my school, but I have heard them at other schools and at tournaments. It has to do with the blending of different martial arts in the United States that you don't see so much elsewhere.